Most people spend their lives being pushed. They're pushed by bills, pushed by deadlines, pushed by other people's expectations, pushed by the pressure of survival, the weight of obligations, and the constant need to fix what's broken. Living this way drains energy because you're always reacting, always under pressure, always behind. But there's another way to live, and it's the way Jim Rohn often spoke about. Instead of being pushed by problems, you can be pulled by a powerful vision. And that pull changes everything. When you are pushed, life feels heavy. You get out of bed because you have to. You work because you must. You study because someone told you to. Pressure and obligation keep you moving, but they never make you come alive. When you are pulled, it's different. A compelling future acts like a magnet. It excites you, it energizes you, it calls you forward. You don't drag yourself. You're drawn forward by something bigger than your current reality. That's why clarity is so important. A vague idea won't pull you saying, I want to be successful, doesn't have enough weight. Success means different things to different people. You have to define it. What exactly do you want? Is it financial independence, the ability to give generously, the freedom to travel, or the satisfaction of building something meaningful? When you know exactly what your future looks like, it starts to develop gravity. It begins to pull you toward it little by little, day by day. Think of it like a lighthouse. If the light is faint, you won't notice it. But if the light is bright, it captures your attention and directs your path. Your vision has to be that bright. You should be able to close your eyes and see it as if it were already real. You should be able to describe it in detail, what it feels like, what it looks like, who you become in that future. That clarity gives the future power. Here's the beauty of creating a future that pulls you. It forces growth. If your vision is strong enough, it demands that you change. If your future requires courage, you'll learn to act despite fear. If your future requires leadership, you'll start studying and practicing leadership. If your future requires discipline, you'll begin building stronger routines. The future you design begins shaping the present version of you. Without that future, there's no reason to grow. With it, growth becomes unavoidable. And here's another truth: when you live by being pushed, you burn out. Pressure is exhausting. But when you live by being pulled, you're fueled by inspiration. You'll still work hard, but it won't feel the same. There's a difference between dragging yourself uphill and being drawn forward by a force greater than yourself. That's the secret to lasting motivation, not forcing yourself, but aligning yourself with a vision that excites you. Of course, problems never disappear. Even with a strong vision, obstacles will arise. But here's the difference: when you're only being pushed, every problem feels overwhelming because it adds more weight to your load. When you're being pulled, problems are still there, but your vision is stronger than the obstacles. You endure because the future waiting for you is worth it. The pull of the future makes the pain of the present tolerable. This is why you can't leave your future to chance. If you simply wait to see what happens, you'll live by pressure, not passion. You'll always be pushed, never pulled. But if you sit down and design the life you want, if you dare to dream in specifics and commit to a vision, you create a magnet that draws you forward. Suddenly, discipline isn't a burden, it's a bridge. Sacrifice isn't loss, it's investment. Hard work isn't punishment, it's preparation. So I challenge you, don't settle for a life of being pushed. Create a future that pulls you. Take the time to write it down, see it, believe in it. Build daily habits around it. Make it so compelling that when you wake up in the morning, you don't need an alarm clock to push you out of bed. The vision itself pulls you up. Be pulled, not pushed. That is the real secret to momentum, to growth, to success, and to living a life of meaning. Problems will fade in comparison when the pull of your future becomes stronger than the push of your past. Most people drift through life with a sense of hope, but no real direction. They say things like, I just want to be happy, or I hope things work out. But hope is not a strategy, and chance is not a plan. If you want your life to truly change, you must design a future that is so compelling, so attractive, so clear, that it begins to pull you forward every single day. That's the great secret. When your future is powerful enough, You don't have to push yourself so hard because the future itself begins to pull you. The difference between those who struggle and those who thrive often comes down to one thing: clarity. A fuzzy picture of success will never give you energy. You can't wake up excited about something you can't even describe. But when you have a crystal clear picture of who you want to be, what you want to create, and the kind of life you want to live, suddenly your energy rises. Clarity creates power. It sharpens your focus and eliminates distractions. When you know where you're going, saying no to what doesn't matter becomes easier, and saying yes to what is becomes automatic. Think about the power of a magnet. A small, weak magnet won't pull much of anything, but a strong magnet, clear and concentrated, can move heavy objects. Your vision works the same way. If your future is vague, I just want more money, or I want to be successful, that's too weak to pull you through tough days. But if your vision is specific, I want to earn enough to buy my freedom, to give my family security, to contribute to causes I believe in, and to live with energy and joy, suddenly that vision has power. It has meaning, it has weight, and because of that, it begins to pull you. Your future is not just about what you get, it's about who you become. A compelling vision demands growth. If your dream is to lead, you'll have to learn influence. If your dream is to create wealth, you'll have to study value. If your dream is to be strong and healthy, you'll have to discipline your habits. The future pulls you by shaping the present. It demands that you become better today so that tomorrow is possible. And that's one of the most beautiful parts of this philosophy. The future you design forces you to grow into someone worthy of it. But you cannot build that future without writing it down, reviewing it, and breathing life into it daily. The human mind tends to forget, tends to wander, tends to get caught in the noise of everyday problems. Problems will push you, and if you're not careful, you'll spend your entire life reacting instead of creating. But when you take the time to define your vision in clear words and vivid pictures, you set in motion a force that keeps you centered even in chaos. It is the difference between drifting in the ocean and sailing toward a destination. Of course, life will always bring challenges. Bills will show up, people will disappoint you, plans won't always work. But here's the truth: problems by themselves can't stop you if your future is powerful enough. A strong future is heavier than your problems. It pulls you through setbacks. It gives you the endurance to keep moving. Think of the marathon runner. The pain in mile 20 is intense, but the vision of crossing the finish line pulls them further than the pain could ever push them back. That's why you must decide right now what kind of future will be strong enough to carry you. Don't design a future just for survival. Design a future for significance. Don't just aim to pay the bills, aim to create freedom. Don't just think about next week, think about the next decade. And the more vivid, detailed, and meaningful your future becomes, the more power it will have. So I challenge you, sit down and create your future with clarity. Ask yourself, what do I really want? What kind of life would pull me forward so powerfully that I'd never need to be pushed again? Write it, picture it, speak it, and then align your daily habits with that vision. When your future is clear enough, the present becomes easier because clarity creates power. Most people drift through life waiting for something to happen. They wait for opportunity to knock, they wait for luck to arrive, or they wait for the right moment. But the truth is, the future isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you deliberately create. And if you want to live a life of meaning, you must create a future so clear, so vivid, so compelling that it begins to pull you toward it. You see, there are two ways we move in life. One is by being pushed by our problems, and the other is by being pulled by our vision. Being pushed feels heavy. It drains energy. Every day feels like survival. But when you design a future worth living for, suddenly life feels lighter. You're not being pushed from behind. You're being pulled forward. And that pull is powerful because it comes from something bigger than your present struggles. But here's where many people miss it. They think success is a one-size-fits-all picture. They say, I'll be successful when I have money, when I have recognition, when I have what everyone else calls success. But that's a trap. Success is not universal. It's personal. You have to define success for yourself. If you don't, the world will hand you its definition, and you'll spend your life chasing something that doesn't fulfill you. For some, success is freedom, the ability to wake up and choose how they spend their time. For others, it's contribution, the joy of knowing their work leaves an impact. For some, success is building a legacy for their family. For others, it's living with health, energy, and peace of mind. The beauty of life is that success is not about copying, it's about creating. When you define success for yourself, your future becomes magnetic. It has clarity, and clarity is power. Think of it like this. A vague goal is like a weak magnet. It barely pulls. But a clear, personal, and deeply meaningful vision is like a giant magnet. It draws you with force. It makes you excited to get out of bed in the morning. It makes you endure discipline. It makes you face fear and push past doubt. Why? Because the future you've imagined has more weight than the discomfort of the present. The future doesn't just change tomorrow, it shapes today. If your vision requires leadership, you'll start developing leadership. If it demands courage, you'll begin practicing courage. If it calls for mastery, you'll commit to learning. The future dictates the present because the person you want to become pulls you into action right now. That's why Jim Rohn used to say, set a goal big enough to excite you, but realistic enough to pull you. Now, let me give you a warning. If your picture of the future is too small, it won't have the strength to pull you. If your definition of success is borrowed from someone else, it won't move your heart. And if your vision is only about survival, you'll never feel the deep satisfaction of progress. The future has to be yours. It has to fit your values, your gifts, your calling. That's when it pulls you with unstoppable force. So how do you create a future that pulls you? First, take the time to define success for yourself. Write it down in detail. Describe what it looks like, feels like, and even sounds like. The clearer the picture, the stronger the pull. Second, align your habits with that vision. If your dream is health, then your daily actions should match it. If your dream is freedom, then your daily discipline with money should reflect it. And third, remind yourself every day of the future you're building. Keep it in front of you until it becomes part of who you are. Problems will still come. Setbacks will still knock at your door. But when your future is strong enough, those problems shrink in comparison. They become stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Because when you have a future that pulls you, the present doesn't defeat you, it shapes you. So I'll leave you with this. Don't wait for the future to show up. Don't accept someone else's picture of success. Define it for yourself. Paint it with clarity. Build it with intention. And once you've created that vision, let it pull you through every obstacle, every challenge, and every season of life. Because the pull of a well-defined future is stronger than the push of any problem you'll ever face. Most people drift through life waiting for the future to show up as if it's something random, something beyond their control. They say, let's see what happens. But if you live with that attitude, what happens is usually not much. The truth is, the future is not something you wait for, it's something you create. The difference between a person who struggles and a person who thrives is that one allows the future to arrive by default, while the other designs a future so powerful, so compelling, that it begins to pull them toward it. That is the secret. The future must pull you. If you live only reacting to problems, you're always under pressure. You're being pushed. And being pushed is exhausting. But when you create a vision, a clear, exciting, magnetic future, you don't need pressure. You don't need someone standing over you reminding you what to do. The future itself pulls you forward. It gets you out of bed in the morning. It carries you past the temptation to quit. It fuels your courage when fear whispers in your ear. But for the future to pull you, it has to be clear. You cannot just say, I want to be successful. Success is too vague. It has no power. You must define it. What does success look like for you? Is it freedom from debt? Is it the ability to spend more time with your family? Is it living with health, energy, and vitality? Is it building a business that impacts the world? Whatever it is, clarity transforms wishful thinking into a vision, and a vision has pulling power. Now, here's the part many people forget. The future demands growth. If you want a bigger future, you must become a bigger person. If your future requires leadership, then you must start learning leadership today. If your future requires wealth, then you must develop financial discipline and business skills now. If your future requires influence, then you must work on communication, character, and credibility. A small future requires no growth, but a great future demands that you stretch, that you expand, that you become more than you are today. Think about it. If your future doesn't scare you a little, it's not big enough. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. That's why Jim Rohn used to say, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. The power of a compelling future is that it gives meaning to the struggle. Without vision, struggle feels pointless. But with vision, struggle feels necessary, almost welcome, because you know it's shaping you into the person your future demands. The key, then, is alignment. Your daily habits must align with your vision. You can't say you want financial independence and spend everything you earn. You can't say you want health and live on junk food. You can't say you want influence and never read, study, or practice your communication. Discipline is simply aligning today with tomorrow. Every small daily action becomes a brick in the foundation of the future that's pulling you. And here's the beauty: when the future pulls you, motivation is no longer a mystery. People always ask, how do I stay motivated? That's the wrong question. Motivation is natural when the vision is strong enough. You don't need to be pushed when you are being pulled. A man who dreams of building a legacy doesn't need someone to nag him about hard work. He's already pulled forward by the picture of what's possible. But here's the warning: if you don't create a future that pulls you, life will create one by default. And the default future is not exciting. It's filled with regret, missed opportunities, and untapped potential. You must decide what kind of life you want to live. You must design it, describe it, and discipline yourself to pursue it. So I ask you, what kind of future is calling you? What vision excites you so much that you can't ignore it? Don't wait. Don't settle. Build a future that demands the best of you. A future that requires your courage, your creativity, and your character. A future so strong that when problems show up, they don't stop you. They simply remind you why you must keep going. The pull of vision is stronger than the push of problems. When you create a future that pulls you, you become unstoppable. The future becomes your ally, and every step, every discipline, every sacrifice becomes proof that you are becoming the person capable of living the life you've imagined. So don't wait for the future to arrive. Create it, shape it, and let it pull you into the destiny you were designed to live. Most people drift through life hoping that somehow tomorrow will be better than today. They say, maybe things will change. Maybe life will get easier. Maybe I'll get lucky. But hope without action is only a wish. Jim Rohn used to say, the major key to your better future is you. That means the future isn't something we wait for. It's something we design. And when the design is clear, the future itself begins to pull us toward it. There are only two ways people move through life. One is by being pushed. The other is by being pulled. If all you have are problems, you're constantly being pushed. Pushed by debt, pushed by stress, pushed by fear. But if you have a clear and compelling vision, then you are not being pushed, you are being pulled. And being pulled is a whole lot easier than being pushed. Pressure may keep you moving for a while, but vision can keep you moving for a lifetime. Think of a magnet. A weak vision has little pull. It barely moves you. A vague dream doesn't pull at all. But a vision so strong, so exciting, so alive, it acts like a powerful magnet. It pulls you out of bed in the morning. It pulls you past excuses. It pulls you beyond fear. That's the kind of future you want to create, one that has so much clarity and passion behind it that you simply can't resist moving toward it. But let's be honest, it's not enough to say, I want to be successful. Success is too blurry. It has no shape until you define it. You have to answer the question, what does success mean for me? Is it the freedom to travel the world? Is it building a business that creates jobs? Is it raising a family that lives with values and integrity? Is it being healthy, energetic, and strong? You must put the picture in focus, because without clarity, there is no pull. Clarity creates energy, and energy fuels action. Here's where the real secret comes in habits. Vision is what inspires you, but habits are what transform you. A vision without habits is only a dream, but a vision with habits becomes destiny. If your vision is financial freedom, then your habits must include wise saving, intelligent investing, and continuous learning. If your vision is health, then your habits must include exercise, rest, and disciplined eating. If your vision is leadership, then your habits must include study, listening, and practicing courage. Every great future demands matching habits. The truth is, the future will not adjust to you. You must adjust to it. That's why aligning your daily actions with your vision is so important. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you are casting a vote for the future you want. Every time you let your habits drift away from your vision, you weaken the pull of that future. But every time you align your behavior with your dream, the pull becomes stronger, and you start to feel momentum carrying you forward. Jim Rohn reminded us that we don't get paid for the time, we get paid for the value we bring to the time. And what determines your value? The skills, disciplines, and character you develop along the way. Your compelling future demands growth, and growth requires consistent habits. You don't suddenly wake up successful, you grow into it by aligning what you do daily with the future you want to experience. So, ask yourself, what habits must I create to deserve the future I desire? What kind of person must I become so that my vision can be realized? Don't just dream of the next 10 years, design them. Write it down, visualize it, then let your habits give that vision hands and feet. Because when your habits and your vision are aligned, you no longer have to force motivation. The pull of the future does the work. Remember, problems will always be present. Obstacles will always appear. But if the pull of your vision is greater than the weight of your problems, you will keep moving. Life becomes lighter when you are moving towards something meaningful. The future can either be a weight you fear or a magnet that excites you, and the difference lies in how well your habits align with your vision. So don't wait for life to change. Create a future that pulls you, one so clear that it inspires action, one so strong that it makes discipline natural. Let your vision call you higher and let your habits carry you there. Because in the end, your destiny is not shaped by chance, but by choice. And the best choice you can make is to align your daily habits with the future you were born to live. Most people live their lives reacting to what comes at them. They let circumstances decide how they feel, how they think, and how they act. They say, I'll do better when things get better. But life doesn't work like that. If you're waiting for everything to smooth out before you step forward, you'll wait forever. The truth is, there will always be problems. The secret is not to hope for fewer problems, but to build a future that's stronger than your problems. Think about it. When your problems are bigger than your dreams, you stay stuck. You wake up thinking about the bills, the setbacks, the frustrations. But when your dreams are bigger than your problems, you wake up thinking about possibilities. And here's the magic: problems don't disappear, but they lose their power. The weight is still there, but your vision is heavier, your future is stronger, and it pulls you through. You see, there are only two ways to live. Either you are being pushed by pressure or pulled by vision. If you let your problems push you, you'll always feel stressed, rushed, and out of control. But if you create a compelling vision of the future, that vision acts like a magnet. It doesn't push, it pulls. And being pulled is much easier than being pushed. A future that excites you gives you strength that problems can't take away. But here's the catch. The future must be clear. Vague wishes have no pulling power. You can't just say, I want to be successful. Success is too blurry. You must decide what success looks like for you. What kind of life would excite you so much that you can't wait to pursue it? What picture of tomorrow would inspire you to change today? The clearer that picture, the stronger the pull. A blurry future leaves you wandering. A crystal clear future gives you direction and power. And here's something I learned from Jim Rohn: your future demands your growth. If you want a bigger future, you have to become a bigger person. A future of leadership requires you to practice leadership. A future of wealth requires you to learn financial discipline. A future of impact requires you to develop courage and wisdom. Every vision comes with a price tag called growth. The good news: growth makes you stronger than your problems. Now, let me tell you why people get discouraged. They look at their problems and forget their potential. They let today's difficulties steal tomorrow's possibilities. But problems are not the enemy. Problems are proof that you are alive, that you're moving, that you're engaged in life. The question isn't whether you'll face problems. The question is whether your vision is strong enough to outshine them. That's why I say write your future down. Put it on paper. Pictures in the mind are powerful, but words on paper create structure. When you write it down, you give your vision shape. And once it has shape, it can guide your actions, influence your choices, and remind you that there is something greater than the problem of the moment. But don't stop with writing it, live it. Align your habits with your vision. If your future requires health, then discipline your diet and exercise. If your future requires wealth, then discipline your spending and saving. If your future requires freedom, then discipline your time and your learning. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without discipline, even the greatest future will stay out of reach. And remember this: every problem you face is temporary, but the future you design can be permanent. Bills can be paid off. Failures can be turned into lessons. Setbacks can become setups. But a clear and powerful vision doesn't expire. It keeps pulling you forward, year after year, until it becomes reality. So don't wait for life to get easier. Don't wish your problems away. Instead, build a future that is stronger than your problems. When your future is strong enough, your problems become fuel. When your vision is powerful enough, your obstacles turn into teachers. And when your purpose is clear enough, no setback can stop you. Design a future so meaningful, so magnetic, that it pulls you beyond fear, beyond discouragement, beyond excuses. Because the secret to lasting motivation is not pushing yourself harder, it's creating a future that pulls you higher. Build that future and watch how even your biggest problems shrink in its light.